Using a phrase that pays, the music plays. The microphones go hot, and we are live. Greetings. Good evening. How you doing? 2 minutes after the top of the hour. This is Beyond Ringside, Back to Basics. Fast Eddie Lane live from Studio One on this 12th day of August. I think I'm going to go ahead and file a speeding ticket for the month of August. It's going way too fast. We need to slow it down just a little bit. The thing about it is, it's not going to slow down. SummerSlam right around the corner, and a whole lot of live events taking place all around the world. And we're going to be covering quite a few of those as the night goes by. Something we're going to be covering a little bit later on also, something that's been touching a lot of us near and dear, and that's the passing of Robin Williams. We're going to cover that a little bit more in depth in hour number 2. Phone lines are going to be open. Chat room is open right now at beyondringside.com. Thank you to everybody listening in through .com this evening, as well as through Ustream Mobile, through Shoutcast, through Winamp, and now Beyond Ringside Radio is available through TuneIn Radio, tunein.com, and their mobile app. Very happy and very proud to be a part of the TuneIn family. Also going to have some brand new methods that you can listen to Beyond Ringside Radio in the very near future. Coming up in our second segment around 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, going to be joined by an old friend. A lot of you are going to remember him as the Masked Blogger. A lot of you are going to know him, especially in T-Town. Tom from Tuscaloosa coming on board with us, a longtime friend of the family. Second hour slated to be joined by Beyond Ringside castmates Robert Cosper, the Cause and Effect, as well as very possibly, there's a rumor that there could be a Wicked Nemesis sighting in the second hour. You know, I've been taking a look around, and I think this is the perfect analogy. Of course, you know we're all environmentally conscious around here. That's why I only drink my tequila and my rum in recycled glass and drink it out of recycle. Yeah, right. Good luck with that. You know, I'm going a little bit off the tracks on this one because I have found out that the Chinese forest musk deer, or the dwarf musk deer, is an endangered species of deer, and it's also the endangered animal of the month. And if I may, there's also something else that I'm very familiar with, and a lot of wrestling fans in Florida and the southeastern U.S. are very familiar with. And I'm going to go ahead and say that another endangered species could be the circle of disrespect. And I want to address that with a longtime friend of the family here on Beyond Ringside. Like to welcome in the King of Florida and also the vintage wrestling champion, the King of Florida, Francisco Chiazzo. Mr. Chiazzo, how's your night going?
Oh, things are going really, really well, man. I was glad to be here. Thank you for having me on Cause and Effect and Beyond Ringside, man. I've always loved coming on here and talking to you guys, man. You guys got one of the hottest podcasts in the Southeast, man. But as I was sitting here in my Mazda 3 talking to you through my car, of all things, man, you got to love technology.
Amen.
I was sitting here and I thought I heard you say the circle of disrespect is quite possibly an endangered species. You know, I kind of chuckled because everybody across the Southeast, ever since Silver Bash, where we had the big main event for the vintage heavyweight title, which yours truly, of course, walked away with, my partner and brother from another mother, Simon Says, the other half of the Circle of Disrespect, was also in that main event elimination match. You know, people have been talking about we had some miscommunications and so on. Circle of Disrespect couldn't be more solid. We're tearing it up, whether it's in UIW in Villa Rica, Georgia, whether it's AWE in Atlanta, whether it's down here in vintage USWA in Jacksonville, Florida, Miami, Tallahassee, Tampa, Florida. No matter where we go, we hold gold and draw crowds. And the fact of the matter is, the Emerald Emperor and the King of Florida, the J General of professional wrestling, and the Supreme Fachin are solid. We are like two rocks. There's nobody better than hashtag tag team specialist, Francisco Chiazzo and Simon Says. So I just went around the world to go across the street and touched on your little analogy there, my friend. The Circle of Disrespect are anything but endangered species.
Well, I wanted to talk about that for a second. That's one of the first things I wanted to bring up because, of course, we had Simon on with us a few weeks ago here on Beyond Ringside, the Tuesday night conversation. And I wanted to get it from your side as well because you and I both know, having been in pro wrestling for quite a while, the rumors fly. And when the rumors start going, if you don't nip it Thank you, Barney Fife. If you don't nip it in the bud, if you don't tackle it head on, the rumors get louder and they continue to spread. And I know you're a very focused, very determined individual. And I know that you need to keep your mindset on this coming Saturday night, August the 16th, down in Orlando, Florida, at the Orlando Downtown Rec Center. You've got a huge rematch for the Vintage Championship.
Yes, I do, my friend, against a longtime friend, personal friend of mine, Milo Beasley, who was a former Vintage Heavyweight Champion. I've nipped quite a few of the rumors in the bud. I mean, from the second we got out of the ring at Summer Bash, and Simon Says and I had some choice words for one another. We made up and kissed and made up, and as far as I'm concerned, brothers always fight, we argue, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, Simon Says came out and showed the respect and did what was right, and was a sportsman that he is. He came out and raised my hand because he knew that I was new Vintage Heavyweight Champion. Saw me walk away with that title. Hard fought match with some of the best wrestlers in the state of Florida, hell, in the southeast in the country, as far as I'm concerned. Immediately, whether it was Twitter or Instagram, the Vintage Wrestling Facebook page, my Facebook page, messages, Insta messages, this message, that message, text message, phone calls, everything else, wondering what the problem was with Simon Says and I. Well, I don't know anybody who doesn't have a brother or a friend that they argue with from time to time. It happens. This is a business. We're very emotional individuals. Hell, there's not two guys that are more emotional than Simon Says and Francisco Chiazzo. We didn't let hotter heads prevail, and we realized that this is a business, and this is all about winning gold and making money and making a name for yourself. And we hugged it out, we talked it out, we lined up a couple shots, and we did what men do. And we rode off into the sunset, pumping each other up, and supporting one another. And that's what friends and brothers do. So as far as the rumors, I'll put all the rumors to bed right now. Circle of Disrespect is solid. He's going to be by my side this Saturday night. We've been hanging and banging all over the Southeast. But come this Saturday night in Orlando, Florida, Vintage presents Hurricane Havoc. Milo Beasley, our history goes way back, all the way to the IPW days and the Ron Nemi days in Tampa, Florida. So you're no stranger to me, and I'm no stranger to you. We're friends. But at the end of the day, this is a business. And that Vintage Heavyweight title and that 20 pounds of gold is leaving with the King of Florida, Francisco Chiazzo.
You have been on a tear all around the region, whether it be, the heart of Dixie in Alabama, whether it be over in the Peach State of Georgia, down in, of course, the Sunshine State. Is there any place that you haven't been recently?
I kind of feel like I live in the car that I'm sitting in right now, sitting in an empty parking lot, talking to you guys. I feel like I live in this thing. I've got a nice place right outside Universal Studios, and I'm half the time I'm never there. So I feel like I live in my car. Hell, I've been all over the country. I've been all over the world. I've been in England, China, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, all points of, God, where else have I been? God, I've been so many places. I'm up and down the road so much I can't even remember half the time. But I've been all over the world and back again, fought for peanuts and bragging rights. I love what I do. I don't see me stopping anytime soon. As far as being on a tear, yeah, I'm on a tear right now, and I'm taking it while it's hot. Whether it's GCW in Alabama, don't think I haven't forgotten about Micah Taylor and Mad Dog. So Mad Dog up there in Pell City. We've been, like I said, we've been tearing it up in UIW, AWE. No matter where we go, we're making a name for ourselves. And I say we because it's just not Francisco Chiazzo. Wherever I go, Simon Says goes. And the fact of the matter is, we're making a name for ourselves. We're putting our stamp on the Southeast and hell, the entire world, as far as I'm concerned.
Matter of fact, let's go ahead and keep that inside that particular realm, because as wrestling fans in the heart of Alabama know, at Global Championship Wrestling, you, Mike Cruz, AJ Steele, and the Soul Assassin Corey Chavis, of course known as the Foundation of Professional Wrestling, New York's finest. So you've got a number of you've got tag team partners and allies in that grouping, in that faction, if I can use that word, or in that family, if I can use that word. And one of your teammates, so to speak, is going to be part of the Fatal 4-Way for the Vintage Internet Television title this coming Saturday night in Orlando at the Downtown Rec Center. The Soul Assassin Corey Chavis taking on Afro Boy, taking on Jason Falcone, and the All-Pro Leo Gold. Any comments you'd like to make on that match?
Oh man, some of the top guys in the state of Florida and the Southeast. I mean, Corey Chavis, bar none, is in my opinion. I mean, hell, former NWA World Tag Team Champion,
Right.
Former Ring of Honor talent, and again all over the world and back again. You don't get any better than Soul Assassin Corey Chavis, former Vintage Heavyweight Champion, and just like you stated, my ally and cohort up there in GCW is the foundation of professional wrestling. See, we're one big family. No matter where we go, no matter what you do, whether it's the foundation, whether it's the Circle of Disrespect, whether it's New York's finest, whether it's hashtag show in a box.
There you go.
I've got my hooks everywhere. And that's what this business is about. It's about having, people always talk about, oh, you got too many irons in the fire. Man, I've got the market on the irons in the fire as far as I'm concerned. See, myself, Corey Chavis, Mike Cruz, Simon Says, hashtag show in a box, special guest, the Cokie Kid, soon to be All-Pro Leo Gold. See, we're one big happy family because this is a business. This is about making a name and making a mark for ourselves, and that's what we're doing. We're having a blast. We are having so much fun. You have no idea. There should be cameras following us around all over the place, making duck faces, a.k.a. Chase Stevens.
Now, speaking of the fire, so to speak, someone who put himself in the crossfire is another one of your allies. Known down there as the Real Deal. We know him as the Human Highlight Reel, Mike Cruz. And some people had brought up the concept that there may have been a little bit of interference and that he helped cost Milo Beasley the Vintage Heavyweight Championship back at Summer Bash. Would you care to address those rumors?
Hey, look, I'm not one to judge, okay? I come from the old neighborhood. Okay? I grew up poor as hell. Okay? We had to fight for every piece of bread, every piece of sausage, every meatball, every strand of spaghetti. We had to fight for everything we had. I'm not going to sit here and judge Mike Cruz on what he did or what he didn't do. I worry about my own business, my own money, my own goals, and he's my traveling partner, and he's like my brother. And the reason why we're so successful is because we never judge each other. We always have each other's back regardless, right, wrong, or indifferent. Because at the end of the day, all we've got is each other. Whatever he did to Milo, that's between them. Milo's a friend of mine, yes, absolutely. So is Mike Cruz. The reason why, again, we're successful and things work with all of us is because we don't interfere in each other's business. Now, Mike Cruz wants to come after the Vintage Heavyweight title. Hey, I'll fight him just like I'll fight anybody else. Again, this is no different than any other sport. Just because you're on the opposite football team don't mean you can't be friends after you bang heads.
True.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's one big dirt pile. Everyone's got to get a grain of sand in their ass every now and again.
Great analogy. I like that one. Now, of course, I do understand that Mike Cruz is going to be taking on the Perfect 10, Lince Dorado, this coming Saturday night for Hurricane Havoc. Care to comment?
Yeah, two of the best cruiserweights in the entire country. Hell, I mean, I keep saying the entire country, the entire world. Mike Cruz is, in my opinion, probably the hottest unsigned talent in the entire country right now. Anybody who doesn't pick this kid up, it's missing out. I wish when I was his age, and I'm not going to tell you my age because it's none of your business, but if I had even a quarter of his talent at his age when I started in this business, hell, I'd be headlining WrestleMania right now. That's how good this guy is. Now, Lince Dorado, he's probably, in my opinion, the best cruiserweight in the entire world. Mike Cruz is one of the best pure wrestlers in the entire world. So you put those two together, you got a match that's worth the price of admission just by itself.
And you brought up the Cokie Kid, Sebastian Cruz, a minute ago. I would be very remiss if I didn't bring up the match that he has at Hurricane Havoc this coming Saturday night. Sebastian Cruz taking on John Davis.
You don't get any more David and Goliath than that. I love the Cokie Kid. I like to call him Coconuts. I never call him the Cokie Kid. I just found out Cokie means frog. I never know what the hell that meant. It means frog in like Puerto Rico or something. I guess it's like the animal in Puerto Rico. I don't know. Anyway, I call him Coconuts. And I love him to death. He's a good dancer. He's got a couple of happy feet. But he's in the ring with John Davis eats what this kid weighs. I've seen John Davis. I've sat down at the Outback Steakhouse with John Davis and watched him get 3 porterhouse steaks and polish them off like it was nothing. Like it was nobody's business. The guy is 280 pounds at the hoof. I mean, I've seen the guy squat 500, bench 425.
Damn.
I mean, the guy's an animal. So, I love Kofi to death, but I'm not really sure if he's ready for this match or not. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from Kofi. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve. I mean, I've been on the road with him for a few months now. He's a little scrapper. He's wiry, but I'm not really sure. It's going to be him running into a brick wall, but it's definitely going to be one for the ages. If I had to pick, and I'm sure Kofi's going to be upset the next time he's in the back seat on the way to Georgia or Alabama with me, but I'm going to have to go with John Davis on this one.
And folks, this is all going to take place this coming Saturday night as Vintage Wrestling presents Hurricane Havoc 2014, Saturday, August the 16th, bell time, 8 p.m. It's at the Orlando Downtown Rec Center, 649 West Livingston. I made it that far. Damn, I hate it when that happens. Livingston Street in Orlando, Florida. Keep your eyes open on VintageWrestlingFL.com. Also, Vintage has a Twitter feed at VintageFL. Facebook.com/Vintage Wrestling. Now, I'm going to ask you if you want to try to give us a scoop, because I know that it hasn't been made public knowledge at this point. At least to my knowledge, it hasn't. Beast Mode. There will be defending the tag team championships this coming Saturday night at Hurricane Havoc. Can you give us the scoop, or is that going to be something that's going to be held out for Vintage Wrestling, Vintage on the website?
Well, you know, every time somebody brings up Beast Mode, I get upset. Every time somebody brings up, Bill Slater and Don Maximo, I get a lump in my throat because those guys almost put me out of professional wrestling back in January. I got put through tables. I got tased. I ended up in a hospital I did end up in a hospital overnight. They could have been in my wrestling career. So these two guys that I have a really big problem with. I don't know personally who they're wrestling. Whoever it is, they're in for a fight. There's not two guys that I've been in the ring with probably since Mike and Todd Shane, who were formerly the Gemini and WWE, that hit harder than those two guys. There's also two guys that I despise anymore than Bill Slater and Don Maximo. But I mean, hell, those guys are 6'4", 300+ pounds apiece. Even if they weren't good wrestlers, which they are, they can hold their own. Even if they weren't, they don't have to be good because they're big, they're strong, they're two big monstrous walls that come at you like a monsoon, and it's all you can do to stay alive, in the ring with those guys. But whoever it is, they're in for a fight because these guys, man, they don't mess around, and I know that from experience.
There was one other match that has been officially announced, and that was announced yesterday on Vintage's Facebook feed. And that is a special attraction match as Jesse Neal. A lot of people are going to remember him from TNA Impact Wrestling. He'll be taking on Maxwell Chicago. Your thoughts?
Man, that's, I don't like Maxwell Chicago personally. He's like a pain in the ass, but I can't take anything away from his talent. I really can't. I mean, that match is going to be the sleeper. That's a match where, it just got announced and it's kind of thrown at the fans last minute. But, just like anything else that Vintage Wrestling of Florida does, everything's done for a reason. And it's to spotlight guys and it's to spotlight their talents and accentuate their positives. And that's what that's what Vintage Wrestling of Florida is about. And this match is a perfect example of it. You don't work for Vintage Wrestling of Florida if you don't have talent. And I'm not saying that just because I work for the company, because there's a lot of companies that I don't work for that I'll put over, to the hills.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that all of these matches that you've listed and so on are going to be ones that fans are definitely going to remember. I mean, this is a milestone for Vintage Wrestling of Florida. I mean, this is their first TV taping. They just signed a deal with Bright House Networks. It's going to be aired here in the Orlando area. I'm not sure all of the details, but I do know that this is definitely a milestone for Vintage Wrestling. They've been around for well over 5 years. They're the longest running, consistent running independent wrestling promotion in Florida since IPW back in the Ron Nemi days in Tampa. The owners of Vintage have put a lot of work, a lot of heart, sweat, blood, tears finances and so on into this company. They put a lot behind me, and they've kind of given me the ball to run with it. I'm honored, I'm privileged, and I'm kind of tickled, for lack of a better term, that they would entrust this in me and put this ball in my hands and say, "King, go run with it." I kind of get choked up when I think about it, because I've been doing this a long time, and I'm very appreciative for all the companies that take their time and put money into me. But Vintage Wrestling of Florida is my home, and it's what I consider my family, and the fans here are incredible. And come Saturday night, it's going to take everything I have to kind of fight back the cheers standing in that gorilla position, because we're going to make history Saturday night.
You and I don't always, and it's one of the worst kept secrets on Beyond Ringside Sports Radio, whether it be here on Back to Basics, whether it be Thursday, Cause and Effect, whether it be any of the shows that we have, that you and I are kind of like in an adversarial position, so to speak, because I'm the commissioner of Global Championship Wrestling, and of course you're the leader of the Foundation of Professional Wrestling. But first off, I'm going to say, dude, hell of a challenge coming up this coming Saturday night at Hurricane Havoc. You and Milo can tear the house down. I've seen video, I've seen pictures, and this is one I wish I could be there in person for. And real quick, for our friends in the central, hell with that. If you're in the Sunshine State of Florida, if you're in Southeast Alabama, if you're in Northwest Georgia, or South Georgia, Orlando's not that far. It's only a couple of hours. Say a few, easily. VIP seating, $20. General admission, $15. Children, $10. Plain and simple. By the way, as he said, this, of course, is going to be a live TV taping. First TV taping for Vintage Wrestling. Show is going to be sponsored in part by Coco. Was it Coco Key Water Resort, if my notes are correct on this one?
Yeah, your notes are correct. Coco Key Water Resort is right here off of I-4, right on International Drive. The place is incredible. It's got water slides and a little bit of a teaser. You might be seeing quite a few of the Vintage Wrestling stars showing up to Coco Key Resort here over the next few months and into the early fall. Let's just say. I know it sounds weird, water park in the fall, but hell, it's Florida, so it's kind of always summertime here. I don't think we actually have a fall or a winter here.
Before I let you get away for the night, and first off, thank you for taking the time to come on this evening. It's always a pleasure to have you on, brother. I know we've already made public, and the reason why I made the reference to Global a minute ago is because one of your teammates, one of your family in the foundation, AJ Steele, is going to be challenging Micah Taylor for the GCW Heavyweight Championship Saturday night, August the 30th in Pell City, Alabama at the Pell City Civic Center. Bell time 7:30 p.m. Tickets for that event are only $10 each. It's going to be in a no disqualification match. Let me get your thoughts on that one. Now, before you say anything, let me do this. Let me say this. At the last live event for Global in Pell City a few weeks ago, it was AJ versus Micah. And AJ came up from behind and slammed Micah in the back of the head and in his upper back with a steel chair, causing the disqualification to occur. I'm the one, as commissioner, who made the call to put the challenge out to both AJ and Micah to make it no disqualification. That way, both AJ and Micah are on the same page. They both know that anything can happen, and they both know that they can pop the cork on the genie bottle and let it rip. Now, that part having been said, your thoughts, AJ, Micah, no DQ.
Well, I'm always up for a good fight. But I think AJ's got this one in the bag. I mean, we would never do anything, to interfere in a match. I mean, no DQ. I mean, AJ's got this. I mean, we would never do anything like that. I mean, so if you're insinuating that myself or Corey Chavis or the human highlight reel, the real deal, Mike Cruz would possibly get involved in a no DQ match,
or even your manager
or AJ Steele, I'm actually offended because we're coming off a suspension that you yourself actually put on us for 30 days, which cost me quite a bit of money, actually. Well, I'm not too happy about, but it is what it is. We sat our 30-day suspension out, and we're going to be there on August 30th. We're going to be in the house, GCW. I might just walk right up to Mad Dog and slap him in the face. I might walk up to you and slap you in the face. The fact of the matter is business is business. AJ Steele and Micah Taylor, GCW heavyweight title. AJ Steele's going to walk away with that gold. It's going to come back to the family. Because that's all that matters. It doesn't matter whether it's me having the belt or AJ Steele or Mike Cruz or Corey Chavis. Fact is, it comes back to the foundation, and we go out and party in downtown Birmingham, just like we always do. So, next question.
Well, basically, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that one, brother. I'm looking forward to it. Saturday, August 30th in Pell City, but before the road for the King of Florida continues this Saturday night. Any final comments you'd like to make toward Milo?
Milo Beasley, I hope you're bringing your reggae, my friend. A bum and a king, it writes itself. You can follow the King of Florida, Facebook, Francisco Chiazzo, Twitter, @Francisco Chiazzo, or Instagram, @Francisco Chiazzo, or buy my wrestling t-shirts at www.prowrestlingtees.com/Francisco Chiazzo.
Now, in addition to this coming Saturday night, any other dates you'd like to let the fans know about?
Oh, man, let me grab my phone. Hold on one second. Hold time me back, 'cause I'm all over the Southeast, brother. Hold on one second, Daddy-O.
Not a problem. I'm with you.
I've got this Saturday, Orlando, Florida, Vintage presents Hurricane Havoc. I've got August 23rd, I'll be in Newport Richie for ACW. On the 30th, I'll be in Pell City, Alabama for GCW. On September 6th, I roll into Villa Rica, Georgia, #show in a box and Circle of Disrespect. Then on September 13th, Vintage Wrestling of Florida comes back to Orlando, Florida. And then, of course, we've got September 20th, AWE in Atlanta, Georgia. Back in Pell City, Alabama on September 27th. I'm sorry, I skipped right over Manor Pro Wrestling August 29th in Kissimmee, Florida.
Oops.
I get so excited when I talk about my dates because I am all over the place. Circle of Disrespect, #tag team specialist, King of Florida, Francisco Chiazzo, coming at you live and in color. Thank you for having me, Beyond Ringside.
Anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, mark your calendars, make your plans. It is this Saturday night, August the 16th in Orlando, Florida, 649 Livingston Street. Vintage Wrestling presents Hurricane Havoc. And in the main event, facing his challenger, the former champ Milo Beasley, is our guest and family, the one, the only, the King of Florida, Francisco Chiazzo. Always a pleasure to have you on. Always ready to have you come back anytime. Just keep us in the loop, Frank.
Thanks, guys. You guys take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Folks, we're going to head for the break real quick, and when we come back, a longtime friend makes a return to Beyond Ringside. This is Back to Basics.
This is Country Jack, Corey Hollis, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
All bad things must come to an end. The world's most notorious rock band is saying goodbye forever. Dodge presents Motley Crue, the final tour, with very special guest Alice Cooper. Friday, August 15th, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now. Motley Crue, the final tour. For more info and tour dates, visit motley.com.
This is Jacoby Boykins, a.k.a. the Alabama Ambassador, Mr. 256, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Johnny Swinger here, the King of Swing. So don't sing it, swing it. And remember, you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Motor Fast Eddie Lane as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com.
You got us, friends, keeping the ride alive on this Tuesday night as Beyond Ringside goes Back to Basics. Live from Studio 1, Fast Eddie Lane behind the control panel. like to welcome in a longtime friend of the family in more ways than one. Longtime friends of the station, and okay, before we were on full radio, before we were doing podcasting on the side, when we were hitting more directly on Ustream and Blog Talk Radio, this good friend of ours, and I will say be our family member, used to come on with us every once in a while. He's had a couple of different pseudonyms that he works with, and we've kind of left those in days gone by. But I will say, it's been a while, and it's good to have him home. Tom Behrens, how you doing tonight, Tom?
Doing awesome. How you doing, Eddie?
It's been a great week so far, and it's only Tuesday. I have no complaints. Now,
well, good.
First off, what have you been doing with yourself? Let everybody know what's been happening.
Well, just been doing a little bit of traveling and doing the cool thing wrestling-wise. Got to go see WrestleMania. Went to New Orleans for that. Took in the full weekend of wrestling there, and then came back. And in Birmingham, went to the Raw the next week. So got to see 5 live wrestling shows in about a 12-day period. So that was pretty awesome. And then in the real world, real life, got to do some other radio and just got my master's at the University of Alabama, so I was happy about that, and just moving on along.
First off, congratulations on the master's. I know that is one heck of an achievement, and I know you worked long and hard to get there, brother, so I tip my hat to you. And like I said,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem. Let's dive right into it. We talked a little bit off air, and you brought up TNA, and this is something that I've been all over for the last few weeks, because just the week before that they were getting ready to drop Kurt Angle, the week before they brought in Kurt Angle as the VP Wrestling Operations or GM or whatever title you want to give him. I'd pretty much
get him on TV, because he can't really wrestle right now, but we need him on TV. Basically.
Exactly. I mean, the week before that, I had written off TNA. I said, okay, I've tried, I've waited, I've been patient, I'm done. And then lo and behold, the week that they brought him on board, it's like TNA itself decided to go, as I call this show, back to basics. It's like they decided to go ahead and start from square one. Your thoughts on that?
I think that's true, and I was kind of in the same boat you were about, deciding, because I want to like it, because I think it's good to have a alternative wrestling show on a weekly basis nationally that's not WWE, just to give you a different taste. If nothing else, give guys an additional chance to be employed and to just have a different show on. But it's just gotten so bad. But then they kind of hit a reset button. Doing the shows in New York, I think were really good. Doing a reset. The problem is, and I have a hard time just jumping in with 2 feet on it, is this would be awesome if they didn't do a reset. It seems like this is the second one they've done this calendar year. Basically, when they brought in MVP, it was a reset, and then they went back to their old ways. And then with this, the New York shows were great, but you had some guys that were in there just doing one-shot deals. So we'll see how it continues on from here. And then, of course, they have the issue with whether or not they're going to be on Spike or they're going to have any other type of deals going on with that. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but TNA is going to have to continue to put out a good product for an extended period of time, because they've had little stretches where they've kind of blown up and, all right, here we're going to go, we're going to be good, and then they 2 weeks later they're back to having matches on with things on poles, and it just they don't have a good track record of being able to sustain the positive momentum.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Looney Tunes cartoon or a Tom and Jerry cartoon, where the antagonist of the cartoon gets halfway up that ladder and all of a sudden gets smacked on the head, and the ladder splits and they go straight back down to the ground.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I as a fan, I kind of feel like they're Lucy with the football, and I'm Charlie Brown coming up to kick it, and they're just going to pull it out away again. And that's what they've done. They brought in Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff, had a big reset. Here we go, big time, and then nothing. And then it's happened several times. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but they're going to have to show me more.
I want to get your input on this one, because it's been a while since you and I have actually had a full-scale conversation. One of the original problems that they had when they brought in Hogan and Bischoff was the factor of getting rid of the 6-sided ring, because Hogan and Bischoff didn't like the 6-sided ring. And then when the crowd started chanting, "We want 6 sides," the Hogan himself turned and looked at the crowd, goes, "We really don't care what you like. We're going to do what we want." And it's like that just alienated fans up one side and coast to coast from there.
Sure. I think in general, though, I think Hogan and Bischoff are right that American wrestling is 4 sides. I think the 6 sides is purely gimmick. I don't think there are people that are like, I only watch TNA if it has 6 sides, and if it doesn't have 6 sides, I'm not going to watch it. I don't really think it's that big of a difference. So I think ultimately, just giving it a little bit of time, the "we want 6 sides" chant or whatever would have gone away, and it wouldn't have been that big a deal. For him to actually kind of make that statement probably brought it more to the forefront than if they had just not, said, "We're going back to 4 sides, that's what it's supposed to be," and then just never really mentioned it again, in my opinion.
Yeah, they decided to go and get away from that, which was actually the best thing that they could have done. I mean, as far as the conversation about it, I think
Right.
the 6 sides was a novelty thing, and it was something that visually set them apart. Because as far as the roster and the talent goes, a lot of the people getting the main rub with TNA, of course, were old WWE talent to begin with.
Yeah, and I mean, there have been times where you could legitimately say the talent roster, athleticism-wise, character-wise, is comparable. Just they don't know what to do with it once they have it.
Right.
I mean, you got a guy, so many names come to the forefront on that. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, the guys that aren't old WWE guys.
Right.
That it took them forever to decide Bobby Roode is a top flight guy. They brought. I had no problem with Eric Young being a top flight guy, but you made him a top flight guy 2 weeks after he was a comedy jobber. There's so much they do wrong with the talent they do have.
Correct. I mean, it's like, of course,
it's hard to get behind it.
Yeah, I thought that Bobby Roode had the potential to be top tier talent all the way back in the Team Canada days.
Sure, and you can make that the same argument for Eric Young in a way, but they'd always booked him as Santino for so long.
Right.
You can't Santino Morello, your heavyweight champion, 2 weeks after he's Santino.
And then they turn around and book him as Daniel Bryan. But
yeah, right. It's you can make him Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan wasn't Daniel Bryan until he had a year of building up to being Daniel Bryan. At least everybody who was a fan of him knew what he could be. But as far as in WWE, it took that year of building for him really to be the elevated talent he was. And still is. I think when he comes back, he will be.
Shifting over to WWE for a hot second, they got SummerSlam coming up this coming weekend, this Sunday, and they've managed to put together almost, keyword almost, a card that was almost more solid than WrestleMania was, as far as match quality.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. Now, I think I was at WrestleMania, and then going back and looking through it, I think it's one of the top 5 WrestleManias all time. WrestleMania 30 was. I think it's going to be very tough for them to top that or come to that area. But I think overall, and considering the fact this is kind of like the Plan B SummerSlam, because I'm sure the original plan was Daniel Bryan goes through the summer and the Authority throws everything they have at him and they can't get the belt from him.
Right.
And so they go the devil and bring in Brock Lesnar, and it's supposed to be Brock against Daniel Bryan. Couldn't do that, so next best thing, get to Cena. I like the build-up that they're doing with Cena and Brock, but I think it only makes sense if Brock is able to beat Taker at WrestleMania that Brock beats Cena here.
See, therein lies the question that I was about to ask, and that I'm still going to ask. Have they painted themselves into a corner where Lesnar has to go over with the title this Sunday?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to, but I think it would make the most sense. And it legitimizes him being Taker at WrestleMania. And I know the main drawback of giving the title to Brock is that he's not going to be there every week on Raw. But all you have to do is kind of look back at the way that the champion was booked, like in the 80s and in the territories in the NWA and those type of things, to where, you were able to build everything else around without the champion actually being there, and it was a big deal and a special event whenever the champion was there.
True.
I think you could do that through Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania next year, where you build up Roman Reigns or you build up whoever you decide, takes the belt off Brock at either Rumble or WrestleMania.
So if I ask you for the prediction right now, 5 days out or 5.5 days out, who you go with?
I'm going with Brock. Like I said, I think that's the legitimate thing to do, and I've been wrong before several times, but I'm thinking that the way that this is going, I don't see any way that Brock doesn't win it.
I'm just wondering if anybody else is going to get arrested before Sunday in the matchup between Brie Bella and Stephanie McMahon.
I like the way they're doing this. I'm very excited to see Stephanie back in the ring, and I think it, again, a Plan B situation because this was also, I'm sure, supposed to be tied in to Daniel Bryan, but kind of keeps his name in there. People still thinking about him. You can't forget about him, and I think it's a good thing overall, and the novelty of Stephanie being back in the ring is really good. And this is unbelievably, they somehow made the Bellas popular and relevant. It's impressive.
This is where I've got to take umbrage and slightly disagree, because a couple of weeks ago, over the last 2 weeks in particular before this show, the signing and the week before, they have not actually, in my opinion, granted the reaction was a little bit louder this week, but last week and the week before, they were almost, it's like when Stephanie slapped Brie and Brie went down onto the mat, off the ring, the crowd popped for Stephanie. And it's a case of, and lo and behold, people were getting behind Stephanie when she did the pedigree to Nikki first. And they were like, okay, this is like almost redundancy for her to do it to Brie. I think would have been better served had she not done it to Brie last week on Raw. And this week with the arrest, I think that the fans got a little bit more behind, but I think that those infamous words that no McMahon likes to hear, even you can't get these people over, are ringing. That's something legendary that you just never tell Vince McMahon. Vince, even you can't get this guy over. I mean, because in the way that I've seen it, the crowd has been basically apathetic toward either Bella up until this past Monday night.
Well, the main reason I said that was I'm actually reading live event reports. They're saying that the Bellas are getting huge reactions. These are just guys that are there and are on the internet. If they're on the internet, it must be true. But that's the only reason. That's the main reason I said that. And I think with what happened this past week, I think they've because like I said, I think your instinct is, especially if you've been fans for a long time like we have, that when the McMahons do something, you kind of like the McMahons doing it, even if they're supposed to be the bad guys.
Right.
I think that what happened this past week was, I think, they sense that too, and we got to make sure that, the fans in LA, when SummerSlam comes, that they're cheering for Brie, not for Stephanie.
I think that Stephanie's probably going to get welcomed to a huge reaction when she comes through gorilla position and hits the stage.
I think that's going to happen regardless. But after the initial reaction, when the match is going on, they want the fans to want Brie to win.
I thought it would be funny if they actually found a way to put this together back when Nikki and Cena were dating full scale, full time, and uber serious. If they were to actually have the Battle of the Bellas, to have Daniel Bryan training Brie and to have John Cena training Nikki, and it's like, something? I really don't think Job could have had that much patience.
Yeah, it would have been very interesting.
No, probably not. Something.
No, unlikely.
They'd have just said to hell with it and just go and have Daniel Bryan and John Cena face off, then just say, Bellas, go away, bye-bye, see ya, aloha.
Bella's in the corner, and that's all we're going to do.
Yeah, pretty much. And something that's actually, I'm starting to be a little bit more optimistic about Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. The knock on Reigns over the last few weeks has been the fact that he does not need to go long in the ring, that he visibly becomes gassed after a certain point, like the 9-minute mark. And and Orton's cardio is, of course, off the chart. The guy can go. Plain and simple, he's done it before. Go ahead.
Well, it helps when you're able to do 10-minute long rest holds in the middle of matches. But that's.
I think that's been a long time knock on Randy, but I haven't seen him do that much in recent days. Probably in the last 6 months, he's kind of shied away from sticking with the rear chin lock for 15 weeks.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I haven't fully turned the corner on Randy Orton. He's a guy that, seeing him in person, you can kind of appreciate it more. But on TV, especially, he's a guy that in the ring has never really done it for me a whole lot. But I think it's a relatively good pairing, him and Roman Reigns, to begin with, if Roman can get past that 10-minute mark that you're talking about. And he's, I think we sometimes forget how big of a guy Roman Reigns is.
Yeah.
In a certain era of wrestling, he would be the monster.
Right.
So I think you have to give him a little bit of slack as far as that goes. For his size, I think he actually has pretty good cardio. But 10 minutes full go is tough for anybody, and especially a guy his size. I think ultimately, I think the best pairing would be if you build it up to where you have Roman Reigns go against Brock at some point. That would make his career. But at this point, kind of again in the Plan B SummerSlam that we're in, him and Randy Orton are pretty much the no-brainer pairing.
Yeah, I think this could either be a great match in the making or a great snooze fest in the making, and that's the only part that really scares me, because Reigns does not need to have a snoozer of a match, especially at this point where he's at right now. I
agree, but unfortunately, I kind of see that as a Randy Orton issue as well. That seems to be any match that Randy Orton is in. It's either going to be a really great match or it's going to be a snooze fest.
Oh, forgot to ask your prediction on Brie versus Steph.
I haven't really thought about who's actually going to win the match. I would think, and have you heard, is there going to be a Daniel Bryan sighting, or is this just going to be totally...
For them, they brought him up last night on Raw, and a very prominent factor, especially bringing out Megan Miller, the physical therapist. So I almost have a feeling that Daniel will be there.
I think if he's there, I think Brie wins. If he's not, then Stephanie wins.
I will agree with that.
How about I'll hedge on that?
There you go. Oh no, that's perfect logic, because this far out, you still have to get past SmackDown. Roman versus,
you never know what happens.
Really, Roman versus Orton. Your prediction?
I think you got to have Roman go over, because this is continuing to be. It may even have Kane shenanigans involved somehow, Corporate Kane or Jacob Goodnight or whatever character he's going to be this week, be involved, and so I'm thinking it sets up for Randy and Kane at Survivor Series, and Roman kind of moves on to something else.
Tell you what, we're going 4 before the top. Let's go ahead and run it real quick. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, lumberjack match.
Yeah, of all of the stipulations, lumberjack was not what I was expecting. But I think ultimately, Seth will win the match. But I think again, Ambrose will be. I think Seth will win, but Ambrose will be the star of the match, and I think it'll help him. It'll help elevate both guys.
I really wish they'd have gone ahead and done a cage match, but I think that they've got probably another good 2 months of durability left in this storyline. And this one, I'm going to have to go against the grain. At this point in the game, and I'll make my final prediction this coming Sunday on Beyond Ringside Live. I've got to give the nod to Ambrose.
I could see it, and then you can see the authority kind of entering it the wrong horse, and maybe the rest of the year is Rollins trying to prove that he is worthy of being the next guy. Maybe they could go that way. I could definitely see that happening. I thought they were going to do a ladder match with the Money in the Bank briefcase at stake. I thought that's what Dean would do.
That one crossed my mind as well.
Yeah.
And speaking of
that, lumberjack was just a surprise to me. 2
people I'd like to see in a ladder match, that would be AJ Lee and Paige. Because I think... go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say any of the divas there, they were the one. They could be the ones that could pull it off. Sure.
Because if you give these two time and let them do what they do best, they will probably find a way to steal the show one way or the other. And I genuinely think Paige and AJ can do that. Your thoughts on the Divas title match?
I agree. I think AJ will probably go over. I'm just happy to see them actually giving Paige some sort of personality, because for her title reign, she had none. So I'm glad they're doing it. That they're giving her something, even though it's kind of the old just crazy girl. but she's got that going for her. But I think AJ will win.
A match that I'm almost scared of: Miz Ziggler. Your thoughts?
Oh, the problem. See, you know me. I was a huge Miz mark. I wore a Iron Austin T-shirt to WrestleMania. I liked the Miz 3 years ago. Now I don't know what's going on. Ziggler is still, he sells he's sometimes to the point of selling, but he's probably one of the best workers that there are. Would like to see him have the title, which probably means Miz.
I can easily see Miz holding on to the title one way or the other, but I can also see Ziggler taking the title and making a return to glory. And for Ziggler, that's what it would be, is a return to glory.
Sure, I'd be perfectly fine with that. Give it to Ziggler, and then do you know how long it is until Barrett's is back?
Have not read the reports.
Okay, I'd be fine with him, and then when Barrett comes back, Ziggler and Barrett for the IC title. And then Ziggler could even lose that IC title, but that'd be kind of a springboard for him. Because I think he, personality-wise, popularity-wise, work rate-wise, he deserves to at least be in the conversation in the upper part of the card more than he is now.
Match that I can easily see is match of the night: Jericho, Bray Wyatt.
Here's my only problem, and I love these guys. I love everybody in this match, even the two guys that aren't in the match in the Wyatt family. I think they've, rookie of the year type guys. Both of them have been outstanding. The problem with this match is we're making a big deal. Jericho had to, keep the Wyatt family out so he could have a chance against Bray Wyatt. He beat Bray Wyatt last pay-per-view with them both at ringside. So I don't know why this is the one mistake I think booking-wise they made. Wyatt should have won the first match, and Jericho could have won this match. And if Jericho won the first match, I think Bray wins this match.
I really think Bray's going to take this one. I'm not quite sure, but I have a feeling Bray's going to take this one in that finally go-over moment. And I hate to wrap up on this match, but I've got to. Jack Swagger, Rusev.
This is one of my favorite storylines going, so I have no problem wrapping up on this match. I think it's when they first started doing the Rusev, Russian, Lana angle, I was like, when they first started doing it, I said, turn Jack Swagger and Zeb Culture face and make this match. And I'm very excited. It's like they listened to me for once.
Yeah.
I think Rusev will probably win, but I could see Swagger winning, but I think they want to continue to push up Rusev. But I like the resurgence of Swagger.
Yep.
At the same time, I have no understanding why the D-push of Cesaro coincided. I don't understand that at all.
See, I said the same thing about Swagger that I said about Bauer. Jack is back, if only for a little while.
Right. And, Swagger needs somebody like that Culture with him. Now he's got Culture. And everybody says "We the People" when they come out. My 7-year-old daughter says "We the People" with me when they come out. That's just good old-fashioned American entertainment.
First off, thank you again for taking the time to come on. It's been way too long, and the door's always open. Always has been, always will be.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Anytime, man.
Hey, real quick, any shameless plugs you want to throw out there?
I don't have a whole lot right now. You can always see some of my more politically slanted blogs at talkradio1059.com, and then look under shows Tom Canterbury, and that takes you to more of my political ambitions.
If nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve. But I will take advantage of the minibar.
Exactly.
Folks, hang with us. We are going to the top of the hour break. Stay with us. Back to Basics continues right after this.
This is Bullet Bob Armstrong. I'm Southern born, Southern bred, and I never miss Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane.
And I'm the Cosz, Robert Cosper.
And this is your invitation to join us
and the Hitman, Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock, right here for the Saturday Showcase.
At Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10, 9, 8 a.m. Pacific time. See? We do math around this place. Be sure to catch us right here on BeyondRingside.com. You can also listen through Winamp for Android and BlackBerry, as well as the Shoutcast mobile app for Apple as well. Remember, that's Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
And let me tell you how you can find the Hitman, Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock on social media. It's very easy. It's at www.kissmyass.
Whoa. Stop that right there. Folks, we'll see you Saturday on the Showcase. Bye for now.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hey, this is Stan Grubb for Wrestle Rage Radio right here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for myself and Smart Rage as we discuss the professional wrestling business from WWE, TNA, and all things in between. We'll have an interview here or there. We'll see what we can do to just keep you entertained. And along the way, we're going to have to bring up some emotion and make you think. That's what we like to do. So join us here on Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you at Wrestle Rage.
This is Dan the B7, the only Triple Crown champion in the UFC history, and you're listening to Beyond Ringside. You better pay attention, otherwise I know where you live.
Everybody out there, this is the Human Hand Grenade, Danny Only, one half of the Hate Junkies, 1/5 of POD, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Spaghetti on one side, a microphone on the other. That's a Tuesday night. Welcome into Back to Basics. Glad to have everybody on board on this Tuesday night thing, this 12th day of August 2014. SummerSlam right around the corner, and we have got a loaded week here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. I want to remind everybody, Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, the To Be Determined Show, the Wicked Nemesis Clyde Braddock, and of course the Cause and Effect Robert Cosper on Wednesdays. Thursday nights, Cause and Effect present the Thursday Night Radio Throwdown. Stuart Couch, The Effect, the Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, and my tag team partner at this time, Robert Cosper, the Cause. What's up, dude?
What's up, brother? And please don't forget the Saturday Showcase with myself, you, and Hitman BDC, Ryan Adcock. See how I'll plug that?
That was coming up later in the shameless plugs.
I know. I was just trying to pull the carpet out from under you. It's more fun that way.
Of course, it always is.
It's a great time.
But of course, if since you said it and I didn't, that gives you something else to which you can sit back and blame Lane. Nice timing. Yeah, we were working on a Wicked Nemesis sighting this evening, but of course, this would be one of those occasions where he's on social network on one side and down the other, but of course, he's nowhere to be found. Bohemian Grove, what can you say?
They may be getting the Bohemian Rhapsody going on over there. You don't know.
Yeah, that's some things I just really don't want any kind of mental picture of.
Well, I'm just saying, I would not disturb him. He gets very touchy about that. I would not bother him right now. He'll get to you in his own time.
Exactly. Now, first and foremost, coming up into SummerSlam, it's already been a crazy week. Last night, Monday Night Raw, the go-home episode. I know that you're on a delay on a lot of the things that you watch because you're one of those that genuinely hates cable and satellite and your internet television, right?
Absolutely. And I've not tuned into Raw yet. It's been a long day over here. I've not seen it yet, but if it's the go-home show for SummerSlam, I really hope something big happened, but I'm banking on no, it didn't.
Then I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out of the woodworks. There were 3 moments on there that really stood out in my mind outside of the matches, which I'm going to let you go back and have the time. I know you'll have a chance to look at them before you come on for TBD Thursday especially, which is going to be one of the times that you cover it. For CNE Thursday, TBD Wednesday. Sorry about that. Because they don't always cover that much about WWE on Wednesday nights.
Right. Now, and I really am starting to understand why, but I'll be open-minded here.
But the fun part is, there were 3 segments. Number 1, did I not call Saturday on the Showcase the factor that I felt that there would be a Brock Lesnar interference at Hulk Hogan's birthday celebration?
Actually, I hate to agree with you, but yes, you did. You did say that this past Saturday morning.
And lo and behold, in the final segment, they did Hulk Hogan's birthday party. And if you read my Twitter feed at Fast Eddie Lane, Layne, you saw the fact that I posted and called out Hogan for the fact that he walked through the opening of the roster on the stage of Raw.
No, are you serious?
Didn't acknowledge one of them as he walked out.
Okay. Anyway, you brought me on here to piss me off, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But
okay,
as they went on,
so Hogan's disrespected everybody.
Pretty much. They bring out Mr. Wonderful. They bring out Roddy. They bring out, about 3 or 4 others. I was just really glad to see Mr. Wonderful there. That was tremendous in my book.
Oh, Paul Orndorff's a legend, man.
Yes.
An absolute legend. And his health's not been great, so that's awesome to see him there.
Oh, when they brought out Hall and Nash. Scott Hall stole the show. Scott Hall stole the show.
Okay. I've got mad props and a lot of respect for Scott Hall for what he's done and cleaned himself up
Again
with DDP and Jake and everybody. That's cool. That's good to see him doing well then.
And I'll go ahead and I'll play a spoiler for you on this one. They came out wearing NWO t-shirts. Hogan came out in red and yellow. Need I say more?
Okay, so Hogan came out being all about Hogan. What else is new? He
ripped off the red and yellow during the Scott Hall thing on the microphone to have a black and white shirt underneath.
Okay, probably it's just being Hogan to just say, okay, it went over well, so yeah, I'm cool with you too, brothers. So is the NWO back? We're going to kill this again, or what?
They're probably going to bury it like they did the old ECW.
Oh, man.
But, no, in all seriousness, even Kevin Nash started singing Happy Birthday to Hulk Hogan. Like Marilyn Monroe.
I imagine being Nash, it was probably entertaining. And
it was damn entertaining.
Yeah, Nash cracks me up. Nash's a cool guy.
He's funny. I'm having a hard time deciding which I'm going to vote for. If I'm going to vote for, if I'm going to go ahead and nominate Kevin Nash for the Grammy for singing "Happy Birthday" to Hogan, or if I'm going to nominate Paul Heyman for best rap and hip hop performance in the opening segment of Raw.
Do tell.
Oh no, Paul Heyman laid it out there beautifully. I'm almost like a battle style rap, but he was spot on. I mean, that was one of the best performances Heyman's done, and Heyman's laid out some damn jewels.
Okay, I may stay up tonight and watch that. I mean, I've got to get my kid to school in the morning, but I may stay up tonight and watch that if Heyman's going to rap. Now that's worth watching right there.
Hang on, just 1 second. Ha! I win. That's what you get for posting, turkey. Sending out a message real quick. But the short version is, yeah, in Seg 1, they had Lesnar and Heyman come out, and they were doing their go-home segment to build up the match for SummerSlam. And then, lo and behold, Heyman decided to turn it into doing a rap routine in traditional Paul Heyman fashion, which was a beautiful thing. So if you get a chance to go back and watch it, I guarantee you will be laughing.
It's hard for me not to either laugh or be impressed with Paul Heyman. Man, dude is on top of his game, man. I mean, he's always been good, but he's reached a level of great that not many people experience, man. I'm telling you.
He really is, and I think, honestly, I believe somebody used the term one of the finest orators that the pro wrestling industry has had in the last 10 years. And I'm inclined to agree.
10 years, hands down. Honestly, I'm going to say one of the finest ever. I'm not going to say the finest ever, but one of the finest ever. 10 years, easy the best.
Now, and the other segment that really stuck out in my head, like I said, the opening segment, the last segment, and Brie Bella being arrested. They actually went out on a limb and went back old school. Oh my God, they actually did this WWE thing to where Steph brought out Megan Miller, Daniel Bryan's physical therapist.
Okay, I was wondering who Megan Miller was. Okay.
Yeah, really. And had Megan Miller in front of Brie Bella admit to the fact that she and Daniel Bryan have had an affair. Oh boy.
Okay, well, now this I'm enjoying.
Now, from that vantage point, lo and behold, Brie slapped Megan Miller. Well, a couple of segments later, Steph comes out, stops Brie, and says, yeah, Megan's decided to file charges. You're being arrested.
Oh, see, I like this. I like this. Okay, this is good.
In a turnabout is fair play moment of the night. So therefore, yeah, that's a case of, did they really just do this after having Steph arrested a few weeks back?
Okay, but I can live with this. I can live with this. We spend so much time on Saturday cutting the stuff apart and dissecting and obviously giving our opinions, and mine's usually negative. I'm okay. I can live with that. That's cool. That's Hitman's gonna be more on that attitude era than I will, but that's pretty cool. I can live with that because that's getting into the Jerry Springer trailer trash. I'll show you. You did this to me. I'll do this to you. Okay, that's cool. I like that. That works.
Well, it was not the most sparkling example of a go-home show before a major pay-per-view. And I will say this: we're going to hear,
They did not close the show with this, right?
No, the closing of the show. The closing of the show was the Hogan birthday party.
Okay.
And lo and behold, by the way, for the record, the way that they ended this, they had Lesnar come out, interrupt the party. The WWE arena, wherever they are, is now officially known as Brock Lesnar's house, and the ring is now Brock's home. And so he came. Lesnar and Heyman came out. Lesnar picked up the microphone, looked Hogan straight in the eye, and said, "Party's over, old man."
I like it. So I until someone wants to evict the man from his home, I would say squatters' rights here. Okay, no problem so far.
And that's when Lesnar was getting ready to square off against Hogan, and Cena's music hits, and John Cena comes running down there. It's like, come on, let's do this now. And Cena decided, and Lesnar backed off, and he and Heyman walked up the aisleway. So that was the way that they took it home, with Cena in the dominant position, Lesnar backing down. So based on traditional WWE logic, I'm going to sit back and say this. They have once again painted themselves into the corner where Lesnar goes over with the title this coming Sunday on SummerSlam.
That's what I was going to say. If he backed Lesnar off on the go home, yeah, we may have a new champion.
Folks, like to welcome in tag team partner. We got a BR Fest running wild on the radio network. Like to welcome in the host of the To Be Determined show Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, and my co-host on Beyond Ringside Live Sunday nights at 6:30 p.m. along with Mark Mabo Bowman, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis. What's up, Wick?
I had no idea you guys were on. No idea.
You really don't watch social media, do you?
No, I don't. I've been sitting here outing child molesters all night.
Oh, my Lord.
Too many one-liners, not enough time.
Yeah, I'll save that for tomorrow night on my own show. Tomorrow night, the To Be Determined show welcomes Wrestling Roundtable's own Eric Santamaria. A lot of people know him. They were the most subscribed wrestling YouTube channel besides WWE in YouTube history. They closed it down in 2013 was their last airing because Eric had so much stuff he was doing. Several of the guys that were on part of his roundtable actually went on and did stuff with Ring of Honor and are now doing things all around the world. So he just kind of, put it on the back burner and closed it up. But we have him coming on first hour tomorrow night. We're going to be discussing what makes a good wrestler and what makes a great worker. So just a topic to throw out there to everybody. He actually, I asked him to come on 2 years ago. And for 2 years, it took us 4 years to get Jeff Bailey on. It took us 2 years to get Eric Santamaria on. But
by the way, really enjoyed the Jeff Bailey interview.
That was awesome.
Oh, I did too. I just thank God that Tasha and Chris didn't act a fool because they were so drunk. So if anybody that can tell, that's why Steven Styles got off, is he thought it was going to be a train wreck. But I handle my shows very well. I know. Unfortunately, when I come on Beyond Ringside, or if I come on Cause and Effect, or of course if I come on the Wrestle Rage Radio, I always tend to take over. But that's all controlled chaos. What happened was I controlled them and cut them out of the interview completely until it was time to bring them on. So.
And thank you for making my job easier. It worked out well, I thought.
Well, look, here's the thing. I haven't talked to Tasha on the radio in months.
Exactly.
Months. And she calls out of nowhere with her and Chris on the radio together drunk. I've been trying 4 years to get Bailey on. If Bailey would have hung up, which I thought he was going to at the beginning, for those who don't know, whenever during our commercial break, it got very talkative on their end, and I was like, oh my God, I just thought for sure I was going to be like, Cosper, hang up. I'll apologize later to him. They were on their best behavior after Tasha realized that I wasn't playing.
There you go. Now, first off, Sudbury Boy, thank you for coming through the chat room tonight. Daryl B, always a pleasure to have you in the chat room. Greatly appreciated. I'll cover those predictions a little bit later in the show during our final segment. I'm going to take us off the beaten path.
The child molesters?
No.
Oh.
No, and we're not going to advertise a selfie site that Mabo loves.
No, I'm talking about something serious.
So am I, actually.
I'm serious as a heart attack. I don't know about any of Mabo's quirks.
Trust me. Let it go. Let it go. But the short version is, and I want to take us off wrestling for a hot second because I know this is something that hit the three of us profoundly over the last 36 hours, and that is in the entertainment world, the passing of Robin Williams. And I've been over the last 24 hours, actually 30 hours when I first heard about it. It's just like, this is something that, it's somebody that it's kind of like when Dick Clark passed away or Casey Kasem passed away, because I remember when Williams made his debut on television with the Mork character in Happy Days.
Yep.
And lo and behold, everything went positive. I went back and I did my homework a little bit later in life. And I found out that they were using that episode as a throwaway episode to just simply focus group and test out Robin Williams. And needless to say, the focus groups were off the chart. The tests came back. Yeah, everybody loved him and loved the character. And that's when they decided to go and break loose with Mork and Mindy. And I would put on Twitter yesterday, three of, not my three, but three of my favorite movies. I've gotten so much flack because of this. That I didn't put Hook, that I didn't put Good Morning Vietnam. I went ahead and stuck with, three of my favorites that a lot of people are going to know from later in the timeline. And that was Bicentennial Man, 1 Hour Photo, and I'm trying to remember the third one that I put up there. Because I thought that the three movies that I put up there showed the fact that Williams had such a dynamic range in front of a camera. And it's like you lose yet another of your childhood heroes, so to speak, because Williams could be any direction with or without the use of non-prescribable pharmaceuticals. There you go. That's the way I'll put it. I'll leave it at that. I mean, but actually, Wick, I'll go to you first. When you first heard about it, what was one of the first things that popped into your head?
I can't tell you because this is held MS, but yeah, it was Robin Williams. Mabo is one of Mabo's favorite guys of all time, and we know that. I had this discussion with Mark James about the Mount Rushmore of comedy. Mark James, hello Mark, we love you, miss you. His Mount Rushmore of comedy goes Carlin, Williams, Pryor, Cosby with Joan Rivers on the side. I unfortunately did not put Robin Williams on my Mount Rushmore. He was amazing. He was all over the place. He was a schizophrenic when it came to wrestling. He took a lot from Jonathan Winters. But I replaced him with Lenny Bruce. To me, Lenny Bruce is, people forget about Lenny Bruce and how he calls. Lenny Bruce started riots back in the day. A Jew that was not afraid to talk about Jews and about politics was unheard of at the time. Robin Williams. I loved Robin Williams. I did not know him from Happy Days. I knew him from Mork and Mindy. That was my first showing him, which I know was only a year later. But I never watched Happy Days. My mom was not a Happy Days fan. She did like Mork and Mindy. And, of course, I've always liked Jonathan Winters. Jonathan Winters was amazing. But instantly, I knew that he'd been battling depression. Anybody that follows him on Twitter, anybody that follows entertainment, as some of us do, knew that he had been battling addiction again with alcohol, which he just went to rehab last month. And first of all, Radar Online, suck up genitalia area for showing him in the rehab clinic. That was none of their business to be showing. In ABC News to be flying over his house that morning, there was nothing that could be shown. He had already been taken out 3 hours earlier.
Yep.
3 hours prior, he'd already been taken out of the house. What did they think they were going to see at his house? And then Shepard Smith. Oh, boy. I've got a few choice words for Shepard Smith. First of all, he is a piece of trash. Shepard Smith is exactly what's wrong with conservative and liberal media period. He is not a journalist. Shepard Smith is nothing more than... I won't say it. I won't say it. Bite my tongue. But for him to call Robin Williams a coward, for Robin Williams, if you have never suffered from depression, and a lot of people don't know this, I was diagnosed with manic depression at the age of 17. It's something you battle with all the time. I don't give a crap. I was discussing this with Angie. When I was at NWA Anarchy, I had people begging me to do their shows. I was probably at one of the highest points of my career. But depression sinks in just out of nowhere. It could be somebody that your girlfriend hung out with. It could be one of their prior lovers. It could be somebody that your wife dated. It could be money problems. It could be something having to do with your children. It's a plethora of things. Depression, when it grabs you, it takes hold of you. And it is an everyday struggle to get through that and to get through a day. And people, that. No. You know what a coward's way out is? Going and hiding behind a Bible. Going and hiding behind a faith. That's the coward way out. To go and be, I don't. God knows. God sees your heart. And I got into it today with some guy because, while we talk about, I don't know if I can say that word. It's a bastard. It's in the dictionary, so we use it. Why are we talking about one bastard instead of talking about all the people that had died in Palestine? And that is tragic. But I don't remember any of those guys making Good Will Hunting or being in Good Will Hunting, The Fisher King, or
Aladdin.
Dead Poet Society.
Amen.
Captain, my captain.
Do me a favor. We've got to go to the bottom of the hour break real quick, folks, and Cosm will throw it your way when we come straight out of the break. Hang with us. Fast Eddie Lane, Robert Cosper, the Wicked Nemesis. This is Beyond Ringside. Back to basics.
Hello, everybody. This is Dirty Dutch Mantell, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Hey guys, this is Christy Ritchie, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
This is the Orc of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis. Ladies and gentlemen, join us live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. The To Be Determined Show, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com. We are radio and we are uncensored. Join myself, the Wicked Nemesis, and of course the Grand Design Clyde Braddock and Fast Eddie Lane. We'll have several guests. You never know who's going to come on, but you can guarantee one thing: bet your bottom dollar, everyone. The To Be Determined Show is uncensored. So those under 18, you might want to ask your parents. Beyond Ringside, the To Be Determined Show, BeyondRingsideRadio.com.
You have tuned in and are now live listening to the 3-time NWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Scrapper and Adam Pearce. And just like you, I am also locked in. And brother, we are Beyond Ringside.
Hey everyone, this is the Cosz, Robert Cosper, host of Cause and Effects Thursday Night Radio Throwdown. This is your invitation to join me, along with the Effects Stuart Couch, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, and all of the craziness that is C&E, right here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. It's wrestling radio with a twist, and some might just say with a twist of lime when the bar is open. Cause and Effect, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Yo, what's up? It's Coolio with the Flow, a.k.a. the Ghetto Gourmet, and you locked in to Beyond Ringside. Ding, ding.
If you're listening to this, then you're listening to the sensational Mickey Knuckles, and you are locked in Beyond Ringside.
And the adventure continues.
Hey, T.
Howdy. Welcome back in Beyond Ringside, Back to Basics. Tuesday night, we are 26 before the top of the hour on this Tuesday night. Thank you to everybody who's listening through BeyondRingside.com, through our Ustream feed, through Shoutcast for Apple, through Winamp for Android, for Windows Phone, and for BlackBerry. And thank you to everybody who is now listening to us on TuneIn Radio. Thank you very much. Great to be on board with TuneIn Radio, TuneIn.com, as well as their mobile app. It's expanding, and we appreciate every moment of it. Fast Eddie Lane, host and moderator, live from Studio 1. In from the C&E Studios, the Cause and Effect, Robert Cosper.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
And live from Bohemian Grove, USR, or USA, or USB, or somewhere that's 160 proof right now, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis.
Not even 160 proof.
Not tonight?
Not tonight, sir.
Saving that for tomorrow, huh?
No, I'm not doing, no. Absolutely not. I saw how things wound down last week. No more.
For everybody listening in through TuneIn and the various apps that are available, please take a moment, check out BeyondRingside.com, which is our home site, and you will see the full broadcast calendar for all of the shows that take place live here on the Beyond Ringside Network, Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com, and every other place that we've got going on right now. Our primary chat room is located at BeyondRingside.com, so for everybody listening in through Ustream, thank you. We do appreciate it. If there's a comment you'd like to make, please drop over to .com. Be more than happy to check it out. Love to hear I would love to see what's on your mind tonight.
I want to say something really quick, Eddie. I want to say congratulations, sir. It used to just be Beyond Ringside. When I first got on this, it was just Beyond. Now you have Cause and Effect. You have Beyond Ringside. You have Wrestle Rage. You have...
To be determined.
To be determined. Well, I was going to save that for last because it was mine. You have Back to Basics. You have the Saturday Showcase, which I know you guys have some jazzy name for. And you have the Midnight Black Mass and the To Be Determined show. So congratulations for building a radio network. And all the BeyondCasts that go up are because of you and Cosper. So thank you, guys. That doesn't get said enough.
It's appreciated. Thank you, brother. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And I want to take a moment on this Mutual Admiration Association moment to sit back and go to everybody who comes on board. Reverend Dan Wilson, the Midnight Black Mass, Smart Rage and Stan over at Wrestle Rage, the Hitman Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock, Mark Mabo Bowman over at Beyond Ringside Live, Stuart Couch, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, everybody who's up and down the network on the different shows. I appreciate what everybody does as far as the content, the conversation, the attitude, and also just helping to try to get the word out and helping to keep everything entertaining. I mean, I know it sounds cheesy. I know it sounds corny. I know it sounds canned, but guess what? That's me. F off. Now, that's the easy way to say it. Hashtag hell damn ass. There you go. You have to listen to get it. When we left, we were actually talking about Robin Williams and what his passing and what his life has meant to all of us here on our family of shows. And Cosper, I said I was going to toss right over to you, and the floor is yours, brother. Robin Williams, what's on the brain?
Oh man, there's not really any good words for it, man. We lost an icon, and and you touched on it when you said a childhood hero, somebody from your childhood up, and man, I can't put into words seriously where I was in my childhood, because my parents divorced when I was very, very young,
Yeah.
And like 5 years old, seriously. And man, Mork and Mindy always made me laugh. So that was just always an instrumental part of my childhood. And me refusing to grow up, I was trolling online yesterday because I can't help myself. And somebody had posted in one of the groups of what's the word on Robin Williams, and people started talking about he passed away. I was like, oh, what the hell? So I went and looked, and I saw he did. And man, the talent was just ridiculous. I mean, he could be so funny, but also be so serious. I mean, he could really hit you on the entire gambit of emotions, man. He really could. Dead Poet Society obviously would be my favorite Robin Williams movie. Great movie. The 1 Hour Photo, different shade of Robin Williams, a real dark Robin Williams, but a very good movie,
All I have to say is him taking a crap in somebody else's house. Was that not one of the creepiest moments in movie history to you guys?
Yes.
It's very
Oh my God, it was crazy.
And then you have all the kid movies he did. Because, I mean, kids love the man. You know? You have all the different movies he did for them. And you read all... Yeah, excellent movie.
I love that movie. And that's one that a lot of people don't like, is toys. Like, when it comes to kids, you know, he did robots.
Yeah.
He did
Bicentennial Man. Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Jumanji.
And I forgot about that.
I've only watched it almost as many times as I've watched Smokey and the Bandit, and I keep forgetting Jumanji. It was funny this morning when somebody was calling into the Dan Patrick Show over on NBC Sports Network. They were doing a stat of the day for Dan Patrick Show, and the person used I want to say Kenny Mayne pronunciation, Jumanji, on that stat of the day, and I fell out of my chair laughing.
Well, let me ask you too, Cosper. I know you're talking. What was your Mount Rushmore of comedy? Would Robin Williams be on it?
Man, mine, yeah, probably. Mine's gonna be totally different than everybody else's because believe it or not, I'm not your comedy guy, and you would think I would be.
No, you don't say, Cosper.
But
it's a literal man I know.
Honestly, and I know y'all gonna throw rocks. I would have Robin Williams, someone that I kind of same type of humor. As Robin Williams to a degree, it's going to be Bill Murray. Bill Murray absolutely cracks me up. Honestly, early Steve Martin might be on there. Now, I mean early, not the past 20 years of Steve Martin. But
Let's get small.
Okay, go to The Jerk. I mean, that Jerk to me is one of the funniest movies ever made.
We'll see. Long before that, he was doing stand-up, and it was on records, and I still actually have on vinyl in excellent condition Steve Martin, Let's Get Small, and Steve Martin, Wild and Crazy Guy, both of those albums.
Yeah, wow. I might see what those are worth somewhere if they're original vinyl. Again, another one over the top, but Rodney Dangerfield, very funny man. And you can't mention comedy and not talk about George Carlin. You know, and it's hard to
get out of my playbook.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's hard not to mention Eddie Murphy, especially early Eddie Murphy. But I don't know if I'd put Murphy on my Mount Rushmore.
You don't have four. You don't have four. You've named 7 people.
No, I've named 5.
Well,
But,
my 5th would be Joan Rivers. That would be my 5th because I think she's overlooked completely.
She is totally overlooked because she pissed off Johnny Carson.
Can we talk?
Yeah, really.
No, I'm just saying. Well, anyway.
Well, that was her show.
Oh, okay.
It's like, can we talk?
And
go ahead, Eddie.
If I could, these are the ones that I actually have on my Mount Rushmore of comedy. George Carlin.
Yes.
Lenny Bruce.
Yes.
Richard Pryor.
Yes.
And Abbott and Costello.
See, we have the same one, except I put Cosby on there.
Cosby deserves to be on anybody. I mean, that's the first round. That's the first ballot Hall of Famer on anybody's, including mine. But who's on first is the greatest comedy bit of all time. I don't care who says what, and you have to recognize and respect tradition, history, and the two men who brought that to light, because I don't think the Three Stooges couldn't have pulled that off. The Marx Brothers, God love them, couldn't have pulled that off. Bud Abbott and Lou Costello own who's on first. Anything else would have been a pale comparison.
I disagree. The Marx Brothers could have pulled it off, not the Three Stooges, though.
Just remember, time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana.
What about Laurel and Hardy?
No.
See, a lot of people forget about Abbott and Costello because of Laurel and Hardy and the movies they made.
Yeah,
you're exactly right.
But, you have to put, like I said, Pryor, Carlin, Cosby, and Lenny Bruce are mine, with Joan Rivers as my 5th. I mean, you have to have that. Pryor opened up so many doors. He opened up doors for people like Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Sam Kinison. See, okay.
Ooh, I miss Kinison.
4 are not my favorite comedians, okay? To me, they are the best comedians. My favorite comedians of all time are Sam Kinison, number 1. These are my personal favorites. See, I can differentiate between my favorite and who I think are the greatest, okay? My favorites are Dave Chappelle. I love Chappelle. Love that man. Sam Kinison, okay? There's 2. Those are two of my personal favorites, and Chris Rock is not far behind them.
No.
Okay, I respect what Murphy did, but I think that if you have, I mean, what about Red Fox? People overlook Red Fox all the time.
He's my honorable mention.
Yeah.
About farts. God created farts. Look that up on YouTube.
See, another one that's on my honorable mention list, Don Rickles.
Mr. Warmth. I heard you the other night struggle with that nickname. That's the greatest nickname ever created by God, Mr. Warmth.
Yes.
I love that. I wish I'd have come up with that.
I mean, everybody talked about Joey Bishop being the comedian of the Rat Pack. I'm sorry, Rickles should have been there.
That's only why he was a part of the Rat Pack. He'll tell you. The last thing I watched on HBO before I canceled it during the writer's strike a few years ago, the last thing I watched was a Don Rickles documentary called Mr. Warmth. It is amazing because he got to hang out with Frank Sinatra. He got to hang out with Pacino. He was the go-to guy.
Yeah.
He was Frank's guy. And yes, the reason why people say Bishop was because Bishop had that Italian type of humor. He did that mafia type humor.
Yeah,
Don
he did.
Rickles poked fun at him. But they knew when to stop. Hell, Frank Sinatra one time, Joe Piscopo used to do the impersonation of Frank Sinatra. Remember that on Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he stopped his concert and kicked Joe Piscopo out.
I don't doubt it. Coming out of Frank,
It was Sinatra.
I'm not going to have you rip off any more of my bits, baby. Get out of here.
Well, you got to remember part of why Bishop got that gig. If I'm not mistaken, he was relatively tight with Lawford. I'm not positive on that, but Bishop was in Vegas at the time when they actually did their what they called the Rat Pack Summit when they were filming the original Ocean's 11.
Right.
And I think he gets grouped into that. I don't know if you could. I know they consider him a member of the Rat Pack, but I think it was right place, right time kind of deal there. That's just my personal opinion.
It could be. I mean, there's 500 different perspectives on things, of course, when it comes to something like that. But we're sitting here saying that it's not even Sammy Davis Jr., who was an amazing stand-up comedian himself. No. We're saying it could be Don Rickles or it could be Joey Bishop. That tells you about the Rat Pack, which will never be created. It will never be recreated.
It can never be duplicated. I don't care who does what.
It's like the Four Horsemen.
But speaking of the Rat Pack, the roots of the Rat Pack came from Bogart.
Right.
We'd be remiss to not mention that Lauren Bacall passed away today also.
That was on the way to that, but before I said anything about that, I wanted to ask you if you'd wrapped up, to go back and revisit and wrap up what you were thinking about Robin Williams.
I was just gonna say right before the show, Presley and I were sitting upstairs and it was getting around her bedtime, but we watched an episode of Mork and Mindy. She had never seen Mork and Mindy, but she'd seen Robin Williams in movies. So she got her first experience of Robin Williams as Mork just a few minutes ago, and man, she sat there and laughed her butt off. And it's probably, if we listen close, we'll probably hear her mom yelling, telling her to go to sleep at any time. Because she was wound up and she was rolling. She wanted to watch it again and just laughed her butt off. And I mean, it was funny. It was just funny stuff. And it took me back a little bit just watching it with her. And it really made me kind of sad because I'd been sad that Robin Williams passed, but watching that and seeing the joy she got out of it, I was, man, yeah, that's serious loss we've had here. Yeah,
it's kind of like for me, I went back and I stumbled across the episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway that Robin Williams appeared I marked out for that so heavily. I popped like a big dog.
Yes, we watched that this afternoon, Angie and I did. We laughed our asses off with that. We also watched Weapons of Self-Destruction. You might want to look at that before it gets taken down off YouTube because it has over 8 million views.
Weapons of Self-Destruction, that would probably be also called My House Minibar. Real quick, before we go any further, Daryl B. over in the chat room said, I could not believe someone on Twitter asked me who he was.
Who Robin Williams was?
Exactly. Also, and Daryl weighed in, he said for his, I don't know, I'm not sure if he said Mount Rushmore or if it's his personal favorites, Robin Williams, Chevy Chase, Richard Pryor, and Leslie Nielsen. And I'm going to go ahead and put a rap on my side by saying this. I believe that Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Crystal said it perfectly, and Billy said it first. When it comes to summing up how you can feel about the loss of Robin Williams, 2 words: no words.
And that's true. It's hard to put words into it. 'Cause I mean,
and because you got to think those two, Billy Crystal and Robin Williams, were as close as Sinatra and Martin for a long time.
Yeah.
And then you add Whoopi Goldberg to the mix. You have three of the most brilliant comic minds out there.
Amen.
Three tremendous performers.
What was that thing they used to do for the homeless on HBO?
They all Comic Relief.
Comic Relief.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was tremendous.
I watched that the first 4 or 5 years, and that was my first foray into badmouth Robin Williams. I promise you, I was like, Mork is terrible.
See, I remember a stand-up comedy special that he did years ago, and when he was in his home area, like Wine Country, California, he said, and the part that had me on the floor laughing was something that you could not say if you were not Robin Williams, because only he could get away with a comment like this. People think that that's a rainbow going over the entry into Sonoma County. It's not a rainbow. It's an ethnic detector. We have two Negroes drawing a Buick convertible. Please converge.
He is one of the only guys besides Ralph Garman who does amazing voices, and Frank Caliendo. Frank Caliendo does an amazing Charles Barkley. Yeah. They can get away with doing the ethnic voices, and people are like, whatever. Now the people nowadays, oh my God, could you imagine somebody like Daniel Tosh going up there and doing that? Oh my God, they would crucify him upside down.
I would imagine Daniel Tosh spends a bulk of his money in security.
Oh yeah.
I mean, shit.
I agree.
He goes ham, as Kanye West would say. He goes absolutely ham on his comedy. He's not an insult comedian, but I mean he's damn near close.
He's not afraid to throw a rock and run though, and it's very funny.
We are 9 minutes before the top of the hour. Beyond Ringside, Back to Basics. Eddie Lane, Robert Cosper, Wicked Nemesis on this Tuesday night thing on this 12th day of August 2014. As we make a quick segue and we're getting ready to take it home, if I can use that phrase, without getting bullied by some kind of wrestling shot caller somewhere. Hey, man, you're not supposed to stay take it home. Well, guess what? Wick calls it the take it home round. I call it the home run round, and tonight we're just going to take it home. Which round is on who? We'll discuss that at the bar after the show.
Sounds like a plan.
Like I said, I got drunk at the mini bar. Yes, I actually like that song.
No idea
well,
what you're talking about.
Vic and I nominate you to pick up the first round at the bar.
Okay, I'll buy the first round. I don't care.
What is that song, Drunk on a Plane? I heard that the other day. My daughter likes country music, and I was like,
dude,
what's this?
Actually, I'm still digging Small Town Throwdown by Brantley Gilbert.
Never heard that.
Oh, it's a good party song. Too bad I can't do it.
Modern country, that's crap.
Some of it is, and I'll agree to that wholeheartedly.
I do not listen to country. Just so everybody knows, I do not listen to country.
I'll be listening if they add a second show on September the 20th in the Phillips Arena for Garth Brooks. Because the previous 3 shows are sold the hell out.
Garth Brooks killed country music. I refuse to forgive him for it.
Billy Ray Cyrus tried to kill country music.
Garth Brooks opened the damn door.
Okay.
Garth Brooks made country cool. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's always a problem. When something gets cool to everybody else, that's usually about the point I don't like it anymore.
I have two country CDs. I have Garth Brooks Live from Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's going crazy over here. Garth Brooks Live from New York.
Central Park.
From Central Park, I have that. And I have Hank Williams.
Nice.
One with dinosaur on it.
Cosper, you brought this one up a minute ago as we segue over to it because we lost another of the truly great ones today, matter of fact. Big screen, silver screen icon, Lauren Bacall. And, damn, I mean, you brought her up a minute ago, and continue on your thought.
Lauren Bacall, I mean, Hollywood icon. There's no other way to say it. Now, she obviously really got her place on the map being married to Bogart.
Of course.
I mean, I can't tell you I always agree with all of Lauren Bacall's views on things, but as a talent, as a good human being, as an icon in Hollywood, and quite honestly, a freaking knockout, even in her elderly years, she was still a very, very pretty lady. But a young Lauren Bacall, man, absolutely beautiful. Class act, huge loss. And now New Hollywood's probably going to be like, who? But, they wouldn't be there if it weren't for people like Lauren Bacall, Bogart, and people such as that. But, I mean, true icon, man. Hell of a loss, man.
Well, before I throw to Wick, there's one thing I want to toss out there. One of my favorite movies, and the first DVD I ever purchased, was a movie called My Fellow Americans. Jack Lemmon, Jimmy Garner, who we just recently lost, and Lauren Bacall. And Jack Lemmon's character was married to Lauren Bacall in the movie, and Lemon's character was pretty much the conservative Republican, and Garner's character was the freewheeling liberal or left, whatever you want. Just say Republican, Democrat. Don't care. I'm not about labels. I'm about comedy. And Lemon's character said the word frig, and Bacall's character came back and said, "Frig? Come on! If you're going to use the F word, go for the gusto."
Yes, and boom.
Yeah. I mean, and that phrase has just always stuck with me as a purely comedic moment, because to hear and see her say that, and I loved Lemon's reaction immediately following that. But like I said, that still stands as one of my favorite movies of all time, and she was just immaculate in that movie, gorgeous still.
And I didn't mean to cut you off. Her persona kind of, or her personality. Ooh, easy for me to say this.
There you go.
Kind of reflected that, honestly. I mean. The picture painted just this beautiful, prim, proper woman, but yeah, she would tell you where you could stick it.
That's what I love about women like that, and I do mean damn. Wick, Come on in. Your thoughts. Lauren Bacall, we lost another great one.
Well, Lauren Bacall is one of those names. I think it's considered like old golden Hollywood.
Yep.
Somebody that I think like a badass woman would be an understatement for her. Would that be?
That'd be quite.
And to die at 89. I mean that's a huge bucket of win. Bucket of win.
It just seems so surreal sometimes when you look up and you see it's like, holy crap, we lost somebody. We lost this person. It's like, what was it recently? We just lost James Garner. I mean, Brett Maverick. I mean, Rockford.
All right, let me ask you guys this, just to be the jackass of the group here.
Go ahead.
The rumor is, it
goes in threes.
Is Garner the first one? Then we had Robin Williams and now Lauren Bacall? Or do we have a third one waiting in the wings? I started with Robin Williams yesterday.
Wick?
Started with Robin Williams yesterday. I think we still have one more.
I agree.
When you've done as much as she did, I mean, we can celebrate her, but there's no reason to be sad. I mean, she was... Jesus Christ! I mean,
89.
Humphrey Bogart and Gregory Peck. I know that's two that she people that she started with. Oh, I know it's called film noir genre.
Yeah, that's it. I know what you're saying now.
Okay, so I'm glad you do. And she died of a stroke too. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course, I mean, I still watch Key Largo whenever it comes on something like Turner Classic Movies or AMC.
That is an outstanding movie.
Always has been. Like I said, when I was a kid, lo and behold, we had the Poseidon Adventure, we had Airport 77, we had the Towering Inferno, and in this era, we have Jackass.
Yeah, and you guys wonder why I don't do cable and stream my television. Try not to leave the house,
Well, folks, we're 90 seconds before the top of the hour. We're going to end up running a couple of minutes over because I want to give everybody an opportunity, whether it be what we've been discussing with Lauren Bacall and Robin Williams, whether it be in wrestling, music, movies, cartoons, comic books, life in general. Stay off politics, please. Sorry. It's what I like to call last call, and I will say, let's go in the order of appearance. Robert Cosper, last call.
So at last call, is this where we're going to plug our shows for the week?
No, that's shameless plugs, Dillweed.
Hey, I always get it confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I do so much. I get turned around.
Get drunk at the minibar.
Oh, man, yeah. I've got to put a minibar down here. I really do. Beats the hell out of running upstairs,
No kidding.
Oh, man. Let's say last call. I don't really have any good ones because I've not had a chance to tune into Raw yet to throw any last calls out at wrestling. And we've talked all the Hollywood talk that I can actually keep up with. So I'm going to defer to the Wicked Nemesis himself.
Go for it. Wicked Nemesis, last call.
Well, for Kevin Steen signing to NXT today. I never thought that I would see the day that somebody that looked like that would be signed to the WWE we have today. Holy crap. His promos are mediocre. Very mediocre. I'm not a fan of his in-ring work. I think that it's not up to WWE standards. A lot of people say he cuts great promos. He just cusses a lot. Well, I mean, I've seen a few good promos, but if you can count how many good promos you have or how many great promos you have, then something's wrong. That's like counting how many black friends you have. Looking at you, Missouri. Now.
Nice. From the grassy knoll.
Now you have to look at somebody like Kevin Steen and say, if he can make it, we can make it. For those of you out there busting your ass to get to the WWE, continue on your path. Because a man that wrestles in T-shirts made it. Will he work out with NXT? I don't know. They cut Chris Hero, right? Because he gained some weight and refused to work it off. I hope he does well. That is one of the... Kenta signing was huge.
Yes.
Prince Devitt signing was pretty big.
Yes.
Kevin Steen signing was shocking. I know a lot of people were like, well, he made it. He made it. I don't give a crap. I'd say that to Kevin Steen's face and we'd fight. I don't give a crap. He probably thinks that what I do, he has no idea who I am. But if he'd probably say the same thing about me. I can take it. I'm sure he can too. Let's wish him the best of luck in WWE and all his future endeavors. Well, he didn't get fired, but, let's just see where this goes. So I just wanted, I don't know if you guys covered that or whatever. Cosper didn't see Monday Night Raw. Was there an NWO reunion on Monday Night Raw?
In theory, Hall and Nash showed up, and let's see, as Scott Hall was...
Spoilers.
Well, no, I mean, it aired last night. It'd be different if it aired tomorrow night. But in also...
It's full of Guardians of the Galaxy right here?
Have not even seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet. But that would...
Ninja Turtles suck, so...
I've really heard. In lieu of a traditional last call, I'm going to go ahead and say this. For those who tuned in Seg 1 this evening, you had a chance to hear from the King of Florida, the current vintage heavyweight champion, Francisco Chiazzo, the leader, part of the Circle of Disrespect. A lot of us here in the great state of Alabama know him as part of the Foundation of Professional Wrestling. Remembering this Saturday night, August the 16th, with Vintage Wrestling Florida. The Vintage Heavyweight Championship will be on the line as Francisco Chiazzo defends against the former champion, Milo Beasley, at Hurricane Havoc. It is going to be a great show. We've, like I said, if you're listening to us live, catch the replay, catch the interview with Francisco. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. Segment 2 earlier this evening, longtime friend of the family here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, and good, close personal friend of mine. Some know him as Tom Behrens, others know him as Tom Canterbury. I was going to bring back a certain nickname that he did use for a while, but I'm not going to mention the words masked blogger on the show. Sorry about that, Tom. But from that vantage point, there are some great events going on all across the country and all around the world this evening. And if Internet Explorer hadn't just decided to go ahead and gel out on me, I would actually be mentioning a couple of them right about now. But like I say, open your eyes, take a look around. Because sitting down and watching television on Monday, Thursday, and Friday does not make you a wrestling fan. Getting your ass out of the house and going to experience it live. It doesn't matter if it is a localized show or a regional show doing a one-night appearance somewhere, or if they're part of a tour, or even if it is going to WWE. Guess what? Getting out of the house makes it that much better. Television can only do so much. Being there live, always the best way to go. Robert Cosper, shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs, talking about pro wrestling this Thursday night on Cause and Effect. We're gonna break down some stuff that went down in pro wrestling that you're not gonna see in TNA or WWE. We're gonna get away from the mainstream a little bit, and we're gonna talk about what went down in Japan this week, and that name that we don't mention, the old JJ initials, joining the Bullet Club, but we're going to talk IWGP. We're going to talk NWA and the impact that I'm just floating the rumor mill a little bit of the Bullet. To me, the Bullet Club is the hottest faction to hit wrestling in quite a while. In my
Who the hell's the Bullet Club?
There you go.
AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and a whole lot more, and some decrepit old ass with gassy farts wrestling that doesn't even exist.
I agree with that, but it makes me ask the question, has he pulled one of the biggest coups in wrestling history? It's possible.
It is possible.
And we're going to talk about it on Thursday night, man. I mean, just keep in mind, he was there. He inked a deal with IWGP and Inoki, and just coincidentally, the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, Bruce Tharp, was there this weekend also. So a lot to talk about there, but it's if you're looking for some WWE and TNA talk, it'll definitely be limited on Thursday.
Wicked Nemesis, shameless plugs.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to listen because I have no idea what the hell is going on. Luke Gallows and AJ Styles as a tag team. Holy crap.
No. Styles is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah,
I knew that. Jesus Christ, even my mom knows that. But that's all. I mean, that's all I knew. But ain't I the greatest? You have to start tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. The To Be Determined show live Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com. We have the Wrestling Roundtable's own Eric Santamaria coming on for about an hour. Hell, he may go the entire show. You never know. We have several topics on the roundtable tomorrow night. I have no idea which one of you are going to be producing. Who's producing, guys?
Cosper is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be me this week.
It's going to be myself and Robert Cosper of Cause and Effect and the Grand Design Clyde Braddock. And hopefully Fast Eddie Lane will be listening somewhere and not going, oh my God, please, Wicked, take this interview home.
You know me, you'll feel the disturbance of the force and you'll hear me in the back of your head going, damn it, Wick!
No, because everybody has that telltale sign. Cosper's like, well, that's it, we're done. The interview goes wrong. Dropkick will leave. Steven Styles will be like, okay, guys, I gotta go, thanks.
Yeah, I know.
Show, but I'm out.
I know.
At least Styles didn't just straight out hang up on us, you know. So I got to give
it. Event, Bell City. All right, I will see that. Oh my God, that Robert Gibson interview.
Oh my Lord. Where's
so
that?
sorry.
Is it Pell City? I'll see you there. Click.
Oh, I'm crying. Anyways, at Wicked Nemesis on Twitter, the To Be Determined show, The Merchants of Death, The Wicked Nemesis, and The Unlucky Charms all have Facebook fan pages. Make sure you follow Clyde Braddock at the Grand _design, which he's tweeted one tweet. I've been on his ass about that. Also, Clyde Braddock on Facebook, Enoch Cesarian on Facebook for myself, and at the TBD show for the Twitter account for the To Be Determined show live tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, only on Beyond Ringside Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com. Eddie?
Oh, believe me, there's more than just .com now, and it keeps getting bigger, and I thank my Heavenly Father for every moment of it. I will say it like that. That's my faith, and I'm sticking to it. First off, you heard tomorrow night, To Be Determined show, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Cost and Effect Thursday night radio throwdown, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Saturday morning, 11 a.m., 10 a.m. Central. 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. The Beyond Ringside Saturday Showcase, Coz, myself, and the Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock. Sunday, here's your triple play, and here's your lineup. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Beyond Ringside Live. Yours truly, Wicked Nemesis and Mark Mabo Bowman. Immediately following, at 8 p.m. Eastern, it will be the debut of the brand new episode of the Midnight Black Mass. I will run that twice, 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. At 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Wrestle Rage with Smart Rage and Stan comes on live. I'm coming back immediately following SummerSlam. That's it.
Summer Slumber.
Slumber Slam was the one that I like to use for that. So definitely check it out. And, of course, Beyond Ringside Back to Basics will be back this coming Tuesday night, 1 week from tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Already slated to join us is going to be David Elder and some of the cast from Strike Hard Productions Mixed Martial Arts. Strike Hard 35 is right around the corner. Always great to have the gang from Strike Hard MMA here on Beyond Ringside and Back to Basics. Keep your eyes open. BeyondRingside.com, of course, the home for all things Beyond Ringside. At Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside and Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. It's easier to go to the fan page, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. Thank you to everybody listening in through Ustream this evening, through Winamp, through Shoutcast. Thank you, Spreaker Radio, for picking us up on the podcast side. Thank you, Stitcher, for carrying the Beyond Ringside podcast feed. Also, and everybody listening tonight, thank you for coming on board through TuneIn Radio. So, shameless plugs for me is going to turn out to be a whole effing segment before it's over with.
And also, I thought you had fired Stan and Corey or something. I was like, holy crap, they're not coming on their usual time. I forgot SummerSlam was on.
Yeah, SummerSlam. So Wrestle Rage will go at 11 p.m. Eastern immediately following SummerSlam. There. From there, me personally, FastEddieLane.com, at FastEddieLane, Layne on Twitter, Facebook.com/FastEddieLane. Thank you to everybody who, I'm going to go and turn it to this week. This coming Friday night, 9 p.m. Central, come join me. The party is on at Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time and then some. Real quick, before we run, I want to throw a very special shout out to some of my new best friends up at Earth Fair in Hoover. If you have the want, the need, and the desire to live and eat a little bit more healthy, check them out. Earth Fair, right in the Galleria area, just off Highway 150 in Hoover, Alabama. I will tell you this. I went by this past Saturday. They had a wine and cheese tasting. Oh, fat man happy. And that's the best way I can say it. They had some great prices. The staff has been tremendous, and I look forward to going back. I don't know the date, but guys, I'll tell you this. The second Saturday in September, they will have a beer tasting, and these will all be organically and naturally processed beers, including IPAs. Earth Fair.
Do not let Chris Knox hear this BeyondCast. Chris Knox, stop. Do not listen to what Eddie is saying. Do not show up there.
Dude.
Oh my God, please do not. There will be none left for anybody.
Like I said, for everybody who I spoke with at Earth Fair this past Saturday, we had a great time. It was a blast. And I think we turned the wine and cheese tasting into a spectator sport. So, hey, they gave me a discount on a wheel of white cheddar cheese. I'm good. And I appreciate that. Folks, thank you.
We need to get Nature Box as a sponsor here. Nature Box, yummy. Send us stuff. We mentioned you, please.
There you go. Gonna work on that too. Shameless plugs and trade outs. I got no problem with that. It's called Mentions. And believe me, they're at a premium around here starting 5 minutes ago. Thank you again for hanging out. Daryl B., always a pleasure. Sudbury Boy, thank you for coming in earlier. Hinton, glad to see you in the chat tonight. Until next time, folks, we're going to call it a day at the Radio Ranch for the Cause and Effect, Robert Cosper.
Over and out.
For the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis.
Sorry for ransacking your show.
You didn't ransack anything, dude. I invited you. Hush. If I thought you were ransacking, I would have gone, damn it, Wick! He feels the disturbance in the force every time I say that. Francisco Chiazzo, thank you again for coming on. Tom Behrens, Tom Canterbury, thank you for coming on. Been way too long, brother. The door's always open. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane saying, join us next time as Beyond Ringside goes back to basics. Bye for now.